Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at AGIX. There is a macro video linked up above, so make sure that you check that out if you want to have more context of the moves that we're talking about in the video. Okay, so let's get into it and see what's going on. Okay, so we're still looking for that potential of this fifth wave to the upside, looking for this $1.31 to this 86.90 as a potential target area. This is valid for as long as we hold this 1569 area. Now, it is possible that we could be starting to build up structure here, looking to actually develop this bigger 5-wave move to the upside, looking for this fifth wave. What we need to be aware of, though, is we still have that bearish count where we could see this as either a corrective move as a WXYXZ, where we're actually looking to push down lower into this zone, and what we'd be looking to do is potentially target lower down towards this 1569 area, or at least between this 2211 and that zone. So it would be very interesting to keep an eye on this previous structure that we've got here. Now, the other way that we can talk about this is that we have a much bigger breakdown here, so we need to be cautious, and if we start to break down too deep, we could actually see the bigger 5-wave scenario play out, where we actually look for something like this, where we're actually going to get a bigger impulse to the downside, though this would only get confirmation by a bigger move down here towards this 1921. So this would be a bigger 5-wave move off the top. Now, the reason this would be bearish is because this would actually have to become an A wave or a wave 1, and then we'd be looking for a retracement up and then a bigger push to the downside. Okay, so now looking at the counts here, what I'm looking for is effectively that we have this as a 1, 2, looking at this as a third wave completed here, and then treating this as a fourth wave to the upside. So this is still viable. We haven't got the structure down that we need yet to start looking at this as an impulse, but it is possible that it's building here. So we're going to talk about that in a second. Now, the fourth wave could actually potentially even push up one more time here, where this becomes W, we get a move down, and then we see another push to the upside. But what we would not want to do is actually see a move past this wave 1 of this 3867. The wave 2 here is quite a big move in itself, so effectively this moving through here a bit longer wouldn't actually make this, it wouldn't invalidate it, because the size is still right in comparison to that wave 2. Now, if we come down here into the 1 hourly, what we'd be looking for within this count, where we're actually looking to break down directly, would actually be something along these lines, where we're actually looking to extend out. Now, given the current structure, what I would be looking for is effectively that this is a 1, this is a 2 as a flat, and then this is a 1, 2, and then looking at this as another 5-wave move to the downside. Now, it's always possible within the structure that this could become 1, 2, we get a 5-wave move down here, and we see a deeper retracement, and this becomes 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we break down in a bigger way afterwards. But at the moment, what I'm looking for is I'm treating this as an A wave, this is a B wave, and looking for this C wave to the upside. So as long as we stay below this 2871, what I would be looking for is a continuation to the downside here of this 2749 to this 2719. If we do move down into this zone, what we'd have to be cautious of is if we have a 3-wave move back to the upside, failing to move up past this 2857, we could actually see an additional 5th wave down here towards this zone of this 27 cent to this 2667. Now, if we want to look at this as a bigger 5-wave move, we actually need to see a deeper move here past the zone of this 2414. So we need to see a much bigger breakdown here, in which case we'd be looking for this as a 4th and a 5th. Now, just focusing in on this first 5-wave count here, we do have a target box area which is sitting here, and what we do have within this is some local swing failure potential over this low here at this 2685. This also aligns quite nicely with the idea of coming back down into the 786. So the 786 on the log scale is actually down here towards the zone of this 2662, so that would actually be looking for this lower target here. But if we take this onto the linear, we can see here that the 786 is actually a lot higher, and it's actually sitting on the swing low here. So I would be keeping an eye on that if we do actually look to move down into these levels. If we do look to break down in a 5-wave move off of here, ideally what we're looking for as a target would actually be this area here of this 20 cent 53 to the 1765. That would be our ideal 5th wave target. Now, if we break this low, technically speaking, it's enough to complete this as a 3rd wave, as a 5th wave. But we can't even technically get truncation. So even if we do fail and to break this 3rd wave and we complete a 5-wave move into these lows that we have here, this would actually be enough to say that this is completed as a 5-wave move. Now, off the back of this will be what is important. If we just see 3-wave structure to the upside, this could mean that we actually see continuation to the downside. So we're going to have to just keep an eye on that after that completes. Now, the other way we were discussing this is that the move could actually just be a bigger corrective structure, where we're looking at this as a triple 3 here. Now this would be looking at this as a WXY, looking for an X wave again and a Z wave. So really, as long as we continue to push to the upside and set and hold these higher lows here, we can still look for the potential that we're actually looking to push away from the zone in a corrective manner rather. Now what we'd be looking for here is that this would be W, this would be X, and potentially we could argue the Y wave is completed here and that we have this as an A, we form a B, and then we get a C. Or alternatively, this could be W, this could be X, this could be A, B, and then we see C to the upside. So that's what we're going to go over within this count here. So within this, what we are looking for is either the fact that we have this as a completed move here, and we could actually look to be pushing down in a connector wave. Now, the way that I'm looking at this is as long as we hold this zone of this 27.47 to this 24.58, we could actually see this just play out as a simple ABC pattern. So some areas of interest would be this value area low, which is sitting here of this range towards this 26.29, as well as that if we do look to push down, we have that target box we discussed, and as well as that we do have this 0.618 line, which is sitting towards this value area low here as well. So this golden pocket could be quite an interesting zone if we do look to push to the downside. Now, if we do continue to push down here, I would also be keeping an eye on this bottom channel line, which is sitting towards this 23.95 below us currently. But what we'd be looking for with this is that this could actually become A, B, and then we could see a C wave to the upside. Now, if we did look to actually push down here and find support on this value area low, or potentially even higher up here at this 786, what this could mean is we could see price be gravitated towards this 40-cent region. So I would be keeping an eye on this, that if this is going to be a corrective structure to the upside, this move to the downside as an ABC could be enough to be that completed move in the middle, and then we could see a push up. There is always the potential that if this is an A wave here like this, we could see this become an A, we see a B, and then we see a C, something like this, where it drags across a bit longer, where this A wave and this B wave are going to have equality between the waves, so in time rather than in distance. So need to keep an eye on it. It could be A, B, C, and then we look to push up. So that would be looking at that corrective move here. We need to be aware that there is that still potential for a impulse here. We were talking about that possibility last time we did a video, that we had this as a 1-2, a 1-2, and then we're looking for this as a bigger third wave. Now, technically speaking, it's possible because we didn't actually cross this low, but it's just looking less likely to me. And what I would be looking for here, if this is the case, is that rather what we have here is something along the lines of this as a diagonal pattern. Now, what I would be looking for here effectively would then be that this move here is actually forming a wave 1, and this is all going to be a diagonal, where this is ABC for 1, this is ABC for 2, 3, and then we're looking for this as an AB and a C for this fourth wave. So some interesting target areas here, as a ABC for a fourth would actually be lower down here towards the 786 to this 854. So that would be based off of this wave 2. Now, we have come down to the 618 already, so technically speaking, it has come down deep enough, but this structure here is actually suggesting that we could see another push to the downside. So I'll be keeping an eye on this bottom trend line here drawn between these 2 points as a possible area we could see a reversal. This would actually tie into coming possibly down towards this towards the swing low and hitting that 786. So I would be keeping an eye on this. If we do see a move down and then we see a bigger 3-wave move to the upside, this could tie into the idea of this diagonal. Now, we have some target areas that would be interesting to me here, which would be this 0.618 to the 0.65, the golden pocket here, which would be between this 32.76 to this 32.46. Alternatively, if this does look to push up higher and retest this top trend line here, we could actually see price be gravitated more towards this 786 to this 854 area here, of this 34.74 to this 34.07. So it's going to be key what happens off the back of this. If we do see a 5-wave move to the downside here complete, this could just be a completion of a corrective structure where this is ABC, and then we look to break back to the upside. However, if this just completes this 5th wave here and we see a small bounce here, we fail to take this high, we need to be careful that there isn't something more cynical going on here, where this becomes either 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then we break down in a bigger wave for that bigger 3rd wave. Or alternatively, we could even be getting something like this, where we get a diagonal pattern to the downside, where we actually forming this as an ABC for wave 1. We'd see a 2, 3, 4, and then a 5th wave like this. So need to just be aware that there are still some bearish options here. The bullish one needs to actually form itself in good structure here, otherwise it starts to become less likely we're going to see that push to the upside directly from where we are. Looking at the weekly CPR, we can actually see that we came up here and we retested this line, and we've actually started to fall away since then. Now we do have the R1 line, which is sitting here towards this 2730, so I would be looking at this as a possible target area, potentially if we are looking for that 5th wave. Alternatively, if we do continue to push down, we have this R2 line at this 2535 and this R3 line here towards this 2233. Now if price moves down towards this R1 line here, or alternatively just moves directly back up here and starts to break back above these central CPR lines here between this 30 cent 89 to this 27.77, what we could actually see is price move up towards this S1 line here of this 32.35, or this S2 line here of this 35.34, or this S3 line here of this 37.34. So I would be keeping an eye on these as potential pivot points where we could see price get attracted to, and if they do have some confluence with some other areas that we're looking at, could actually see a reaction off it. Looking at the monthly CPR here, we can actually see that we're still currently holding this bottom line. If we start to lose this, we do have the potential we could actually see price be gravitated towards this R1 at this 24.03, this R2 down here at this 17.93, and this R3 at this 13.29. So this would be looking for that possibility of a break to the downside. Now if we do actually see price come down here and look to actually reclaim these, what we could actually see is price get gravitated towards this S1 line at this 34.81, this S2 line at this 39.46, and this S3 line at this 45.45. So this would be something I'm keeping an eye on. There is always a potential with these. This doesn't have to move in direct lines either. You know, this is for potential pivots over the whole month. So what we could actually see is price action come back down, test this R1 line, move back up, test this S2 line, or even move up past it towards that S3 line. So, you know, it doesn't mean that we just have to hit this and continue going down. We could actually see price get gravitated towards these, finding support, looking to push back up into this one, and then possibly even just coming back and finding support on top of them at a later date. Looking at the Ichimoku cloud here on the 1 hourly, we can see that we have lost support of this. If we do have the baseline and the conversion line sitting here towards this 28.80 and this 28.75, so I would be keeping an eye on a potential rejection if we do see a move up into these levels. If we move on to the 4 hourly, we currently are within the cloud here, and we are currently on the bottom support line there here of this cloud, but we are potentially looking to break through this. So if we do continue to hold support, what we could see is price could actually look to move back to the upside here. However, I would still be cautious of a move towards this 30 cent 22, as potential resistance could be found on the top of this cloud as well. So we need to keep an eye on that as price develops. As well as that, we can see here that on the 8 hourly cloud, we are retesting the bottom area of this. If we do find support, what we could actually see is price action be gravitated towards the top end of this cloud again, but I would be cautious of a move up towards this 35.55, because that would actually bring us back into these highs here, and that would kind of tie in with that idea of the diagonal pattern here, to be honest with you, a retest of the top of this cloud here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. If we come out here onto the daily, we can see that the daily cloud is starting to build up above us. If we do see price move back up here one more time, where this is another ABC, price could be gravitated towards this zone of this baseline, which is sitting here at this 34.28, or the bottom of this cloud towards this 35.25. Rejection off of either of these could be a bearish sign in which we could see continuation to the downside actually come in here. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.